Om Sthavakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avatar Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namaha Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to remove all our ignorance, to lead us from unreal to the real, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying chapter 18 of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. While talking with devotees, Sri Ramakrishna gave many spiritual instructions. As long as one's mind is turned to the outer world, one must accept Kali. That means divine power, divine mother. The power is always feminine, and that divine power is called by Kali, Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, and so on. As long as we are fully aware of the outer world, that means we are in a state of duality. We see multiple things. We see many things around us. Then we should discriminate between good and evil, accept good and reject evil. When we are in the relative plane of this world, we have to apply our intellect properly to find out what is good and what is bad. And we should take all steps to curb evil tendencies. Unless the mind is thoroughly purified, it is very difficult to have any experience in spiritual life. Whether God with form or God without form, it's all immaterial. Any spiritual achievement is to be followed by the purity of the heart. So, the most important point in spiritual life is given to the purification. In short, purification means to make the mind free from worldliness. How far we are able to do that? How far the attachment towards my family, my people, my home, my thing, my and mine, all these things, this possession. How far we are able to disidentify ourselves with these things, that determines the purification of the heart. When you identify yourself to certain things of the world, it means that portion of the mind is given to those things. To that extent, the mind is not done completely pure. So it is suggested how to get rid of the evil tendencies, how to get rid of the evil atmosphere. Everything has got a place, surrounding, atmosphere, place, everything is very important when it comes to the point of practicing spirituality. It is not simply without reason that the temples are built. It is with the specific purpose of practicing spirituality the temples are being constructed, where the temple services are being done regularly, so that people can have direct inspiration, can feel that presence of God, can feel that divine atmosphere in the place. So anyway, here it is suggested that much singing of the holy names, particularly Ram Nam, Shiv Nam and Krishna Sankirtan and bhajans should be done. By constantly singing the divine names and by consciously doing them, that amounts to purification of the place. Evil spirits cannot stand the name of God. They cannot stand. They are wiped away by the power of the divine name. If evil thoughts come to your mind, don't pay any heed to them. They are impressions of past lives in the mind. And now and then they come to the conscious plane. Be very definite about that and just ignore them. Never pay any attention to any evil thought that might crop up in the mind. Never get disturbed that way at all. If you ignore them, they won't give you any trouble. If you give any attention to them, they become very prominent and they cause all sorts of difficulties. So, pray to the Lord for strength, for knowledge and dispassionateness. These are very important in spiritual life. Pray to Him with all your heart for His grace and for devotion and faith. If the prayer is done sincerely, if you are praying willingly, honestly, that prayer will be surely heard and it will be responded accordingly. Suppose a seed is there. It's easy to destroy it. But when it has germinated and grown into a big, strong tree, it requires great strength and effort to chop it down. So, we must crush all undesirable and bad desires in their early, undeveloped stages. We must keep down undesirable thoughts in the germ state by extinguishing them beneath thoughts of a opposite nature. That is how we should conquer all evil tendencies. Hatred with love, anger with kindness, and so on. In fact, where is the location of the evil? Is it in the world? Where is it? It is not in the world, it is in the persons. A suspicious mind sees evil everywhere. A trusting mind sees only good. A quarrelsome person constantly finds something to quarrel about. Some persons always want to argue. Then there are oversensitive persons. They are always on the defensive. Whatever general statement you make, they take as being directed towards them, to attack them. All these are causes of evil. It's all a matter of misunderstanding. If we understand each other better, there will be less evil. To the good, the world is full of good, but to the bad, the world is full of evil. The fact is, the world is neither good nor bad. What I call good, you perhaps call bad, and the reverse. Where is the standard? The standard is in our own attitude towards life. Each one has his own standard, and with increased experience and insight, the standard changes. The pity is that we still recognize evil. When we are perfectly good ourselves, the whole world will appear good. We see only the reflection of our own minds. So, the Master says, see the Lord always in everything and you will see no evil. Evil qualities pollute the mind of a person who searches for the lapses and shortcomings of others. Cultivate your discrimination and conscience. How can you struggle against evil tendencies if your intellect is not trained to differentiate between good and evil? First, clear out the rubbish which has entered the mind through the gates of the sense organs, and then put a signboard, no admittance, in front of each gate. Says Swami Adbhutananda, one of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. Those bad thoughts which ignore the notice and still come in, you will have to hand over to the police, which is our conscience. With the help of the police, you must evict the impure tendencies from the mind and then install the Lord there. Swami Vivekananda ji, another direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, he said, Sri Ramakrishna is a living embodiment of purity. Contemplate on him. Repeat his divine name. That will make you free from all evil thoughts. The mind goes up on a higher plane. The Kundalini is roused. Never give way to evil thoughts. When they come, pray earnestly to the Master, and you will be rid of them. So, this is the most important, significant teaching of Sri Ramakrishna. As long as we are conscious of this world, as long as we are in this world seems to be real. So, how to manage when we are in this world? We have to be intelligent and use our faculties properly. So, there will be always light and darkness, good and evil. Select the good, reject the evil. Secondly, Sri Ramakrishna said, follow one path rightly, then you can reach God. Then if you want, you can learn about all the other paths. It is like reaching the roof by some means or other. Then one is able to climb down by the wooden or stone stairs, by a bamboo pole or even by a rope. But when you are on the path, have a definite path, don't deviate yourself here and there. Go straight in that path until you reach the goal. Then all the things will be clarified. No need to worry about them. You will know the whole secret. Whatever path you may follow, reach the same goal. A jnani, a bhakta, a man who is adept in meditation, the man who is adept in selfless service, they all meet at the same point. Realization of God. Experiencing the divinity of the soul. Unity of existence. But if you keep on changing the path, instead of going forward, you will not be able to move an inch forward. You will be just moving about here and there, getting more and more confusion. And the mind gets into a state of utter confusion. So, Sri Ramakrishna points out, there are so many paths. Let there be any number of paths. You follow what path you want, go ahead. Don't criticize about other paths. Don't try to know what is there in that path. Don't poke your nose here and there. Pay attention to your path. Go straight. Very important teaching. First you attain peace of mind. First you attain the truth. Then everything will be known to you. Somebody asked Sri Ramakrishna a question. It is said, grace is very important. How does one receive the grace of God? Sri Ramakrishna answered, constantly chant the name and glories of God and give up worldly thoughts as much as you can. That's very important. What is happening is our worldly thoughts outweigh our thoughts on God and spirituality. So, you can't expect any progress. So you have to prepare yourself to receive the grace. That means spiritual discipline is essential. If you say, I can't do that, then I will say you will not get it. Finished. Question is answered. Why? Swami Chidananda, one of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, in the course of his talks with disciples, he said, God sees your mind. See, how important it is, how the important position is given to the mind, but how we have neglected the mind. God sees your mind. He becomes gracious where he sees sincere craving. And Shivanji Maharaj says, there is no injustice in his domain. One can see him just because he condescends to reveal himself out of his infinite mercy. This is his grace. Not only does he love his devotees, but he is a very ocean of compassion. I am telling you, as long as you are in the realm of the creation, you will have to accept the forms of God. There is no other way. You can understand God only through your own feelings. You need to know what is compassion. You need to know what is meant by love. Then only you will be able to comprehend the truth. Swami Subodhanandaji, another direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, he said, when we see the sun, how do we see? We see it with the sun's own light. No other light is required for that. Thus also we see the Lord through His grace alone. Another dead disciple, Swami Ramakrishna said that it is very important that we hold on to our regular spiritual disciplines and be ready to receive God any moment. Be waiting for the God's grace to come upon. His grace dawns when He sees that we really love Him and want Him only and not lust and gold. If you are running for lust and gold, that means you really do not want Him. You want Him so that He may give you little more gold, little more things to enjoy, little more good body, good tongue to eat, good senses to enjoy more pleasures. That's all. To that extent you want God. Then you pat on God. When the mind is entirely engrossed with worldly objects, what's the use of making a lip prayer to God? Your whole life you may be praying, but yields no fruit. Such shallow love cannot move the heart of God. You must get rid of hypocrisy when you come to God. The mind will be pure and simple when there is no hypocrisy, like that of a child. If you are able to maintain that level, you will be blessed with His grace. Another important teaching Sri Ramakrishna said, too much reasoning injures the spiritual life. Too much of reasoning. Morning to night, keep on talking. Even 24 hours is not enough. Cry to God with a longing heart. The first thing necessary is the vision of God. Then comes reasoning about the scriptures and the world, whatever you want, you reason out afterwards. First you do the first thing. Otherwise, mind leads one astray. We call it as tarka in Sanskrit. Tarka is not good. So, and finally Sri Ramakrishna says, everything can be achieved through bhakti alone. These are the words of Sri Ramakrishna, the personification of knowledge. So, people need not have any kind of superiority or inferiority complex. Jnani is more superior to bhakta. Bhakta is inferior to jnani. All these divisions are made by men of impure hearts, men who have not realized the truth. These are the words of Sri Ramakrishna. He is telling everything can be achieved through bhakti alone. Knowledge of Brahman is also certainly achieved by that way. That means everything can be realized simply through love of God. Cultivate the love of God. That's all the purpose of religion. How you can cultivate that love. How you can separate yourself from the world in spite of your living in the world. How you should dissociate yourself from worldly ties, even though you are bound by chains of bondage. So religion shows the way. You must follow it up if you really want God. Chapter 18, 377 page. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting in his room. M was still staying with the master, devoting his time to the practice of spiritual discipline. He had been spending a great part of each day in prayer and meditation under the bell tree, where the master had performed great austerities and had seen many wonderful visions of God. Master said to M, "Don't reason any more. In the end, reasoning only injures the aspirant. One should assume a particular attitude toward God while praying to Him, the attitude of a friend or servant or son or hero. I assume the attitude of a child. To me, every woman is my mother. The divine Maya, seeing this attitude in an aspirant, moves away from his path out of sheer shame. The attitude of hero is extremely difficult. The Shaktas and the Bauls among the Vaishnavas follow it, but it is very hard to keep one's spiritual life pure in that attitude. One can assume other attitudes toward God as well. The attitude in which the devotee serenely contemplates God as a creator, the attitude of service to Him, the attitude of friendship, the attitude of motherly affection, or the attitude of conjugal love. The conjugal relationship, the attitude of a woman to her husband or sweetheart, contains all the rest: serenity, service, friendship and motherly affection. Then he asked him, which one of these appeals to your mind? Master Maharaj answered, I like them all. Master said, when one attains perfection, one takes delight in all these relationships. In that state, a devotee has not the slightest trace of lust. The holy books of the Vaishnavas speak of Chandidas and the washerwoman. Their love was entirely free from lust. In that state, a devotee looks on himself as a woman. He doesn't regard himself as a man. Sanatana Goswami refused to see Mirabai because she was a woman. Mira informed him that at Vrindavan the only man was Krishna and that all others were his handmaids. Was it right of Sanatan to think of himself as a man? Mira inquired. At dusk, M was sitting at the Master's feet. Sri Ramakrishna had been told that Keshav's illness had taken a turn for the worse. He was talking about Keshav and incidentally about the Brahmo Samaj. Master said to him, do they only give lectures in the Brahmo Samaj or do they also meditate? I understand that they call their service in the temple Upasana. Keshav at one time taught a great deal of Christianity and the Christian views. At that time and even before, he belonged to Devendranath Tagore's organization. Yam said, had Keshav Babu come here from the very beginning, he would not have been so preoccupied with social reform. He would not have been so busy with the abolition of the caste system, widow remarriage, intercaste marriage, women's education, and such social activities. Master said, Keshav now believes in Kali as the embodiment of spirit and consciousness, the primal energy. Besides, he repeats the holy name of the Mother and chants her glories. Do you think the Brahma Samaj will develop in the future into a sort of social reform organization? Master Maharaj said, the soil of this country is different. Only what is true survives here. Master said, yes, that is so. The Sanatana Dharma, the eternal religion declared by the Rishis, will alone endure. But there will also remain some sects like the Brahma Samaj. Everything appears and disappears through the will of God. Earlier in the afternoon, several devotees from Calcutta had visited the Master and had sung many songs. One of the songs contained the following idea: O Mother, you have cajoled us with red toys. You will certainly come running to us when we throw them away and cry ourselves hoarse for you. Master said to him, how well they sang about the red toys. Master Maharaj said, yes sir, you once told Keshav about the red toys. Master said, yes. I also told him about the Chidakasha, the inner consciousness, and about many other things. Oh, how happy we were. We used to sing and dance together. It was the 23rd day of Yam's stay with Sri Ramakrishna. Yam had finished his midday meal about 1 o'clock and was resting in the Nahabat when suddenly he heard someone call his name 3 or 4 times. Coming out, he saw Sri Ramakrishna calling to him from the veranda north of his room. Yam saluted the Master and they conversed on the south veranda. Master said, I want to know how you meditate. When I meditated under the bell tree, I used to see various visions clearly. One day, I saw in front of me money, a shawl, a tray of sandesh, and two women. I asked my mind, do you want any of these? I saw the sandesh to be mere filth. One of the women had a big ring in her nose. I could see both their inside and outside, entrails, filth, bone, fish, flesh and blood. The mind did not want any of these: money, shawl, sweets or women. It remained fixed at the lotus feet of God. A small balance has two needles, the upper and the lower. The mind is a lower needle. I was always afraid lest the mind should move away from the upper needle, God. Further, I would see a man always sitting by me with a trident in his hand. He threatened to strike me with it if the lower needle moved away from the upper one. But no spiritual progress is possible without the renunciation of lust and gold. I renounced these three: land, wife and wealth. Once I went to the registry office to register some land, the title of which was in the name of Raghuvir. The officer asked me to sign my name, but I didn't do it because I couldn't feel that it was my land. I was shown much respect as the guru of Keshav Sen. They presented me with mangoes, but I could not carry them home. A sannyasi cannot lay things up. How can one expect to attain God without renunciation? Suppose one thing is placed upon another. How can you get the second without removing the first? One must pray to God without any selfish desire, but selfish worship, if practiced with perseverance, is gradually turned to selfless worship. Dhruva practiced tapasya to obtain his kingdom, but at last he realized God. He said, "Why should a man give up gold if he gets it while searching for glass beads?" God can be realized when a man acquires sattva. Householders engage in philanthropic work such as charity, mostly with a motive. That's not good. But actions without motives are good. Yet it is very difficult to leave motives out of one's actions. When you realize God, will you pray to Him, "Oh God, please grant that I may dig reservoirs, build roads and found hospitals and dispensaries"? After the realization of God, all such desires are left behind. Then mustn't one perform acts of compassion such as charity to the poor? I do not forbid it. If a man has money, he should give it to remove the sorrows and sufferings that come to his notice. In such an event, the wise man says, "Give the poor something." But inwardly he feels, "What can I do? God alone is a doer, I am nothing." The great souls, deeply affected by the sufferings of men, show them the way to God. Shankaracharya kept the ego of knowledge in order to teach mankind. The gift of knowledge and devotion is far superior to the gift of food. Therefore Chaitanya Deva distributed bhakti to all, including the outcast. Happiness and suffering are the inevitable characteristics of the body. You have come to eat mangoes, fulfill that desire. The one thing needful is jnana and bhakti. God alone is substance, all else is illusory. It is God alone who does everything. You may say that in that case man may commit sin, but that is not true. If a man is firmly convinced that God alone is the doer and that he himself is nothing, then he will never make a false step. It is God alone who has planted in man's mind what the Englishman calls free will. People who have not realized God would become engaged in more and more sinful actions if God had not planted in them the notion of free will. Sin would have increased if God had not made the sinner feel that he alone was responsible for his sin. Those who have realized God are aware that free will is a mere appearance. In reality, man is a machine and God its operator. Man is the carriage and God its driver. We shall stop here. No, truth is true. Truth has been told in Upanishads also. The same truth has been told by the Guru. The Guru has not invented the truth. Whatever the truth is there, it has come through the mouth of the Guru. That's all. Perfectly all right. I am not denying that fact. What I am telling is, as long as you are in this world, you can't refuse, you can't reject the divine power, the divine Shakti or divine mother, she calls it. You can't have a sudden jump to the highest reality. But it doesn't mean that generally he is speaking. In a general way he is speaking like that. As long as you are confident, you are master of your mind, everything is okay. But when you are not master of your mind, but then when you are struggling to get your mastership, then you need some help, you need some guidance, you need some assistance. All those things are required. So all those things are supplied by the divine power. So you are propitiating the divine power not for any other purpose but only to realize the truth. So if the purpose is pursued sincerely, then you will feel the effect of it. You should not get disturbed at all for anything. If everything is done by God, then you must be perfectly in a equanimity state. Then how it is possible? So if you are able to completely part with the mind, you must be able to have the realization this very moment. You must discard this body and mind once and for all. There is no question of hanging on to this body and mind which is not yours, which has nothing to do with you, the essence. Then why should you hang on? The very fact that it is hanging on, the very fact that a person is propelled by fear, etc., shows that he needs to be purified. Mind activates only when the consciousness is associated with it. Only when you are associated with the mind, then only mind becomes activated. Otherwise mind is just like any other instrument. Jnanendriya, that's all. Continues to live, ego remains there. There's no doubt about it. When you say, my mind, what do you say, my, that is called ego. Mind is different. Actually, in Vedantic terms, ahankara, manas, they separate it. They won't call mind and ego same. Because when you say my mind, that means mind is different from you. That when you say I, that I is none other than your own self. But that you have to realize it. To realize that, you have to go beyond the mind. You have to transcend the mind. To transcend the mind, you have to undergo disciplines. That's what we say. But transcending the mind is a problem here. Though we know it should be done, how to do it, unless the mind is purified in a proper way, you can't transcend the mind. How to get the mind? You may say, I am not bothered about the mind. No. By saying I am not bothered about the mind will not solve the problem. As long as you are with the mind, simply saying I am not bothered will not solve the problem. As long as you are living with the family, you can't say, even though the child may be crying, I am not bothered. No. It bothers you. So, like that, association bothers you. You can't deny it. As long as you possess it, it bothers you. If you don't possess it, it won't bother. That's true. So, to get rid of that possessiveness, what are the methods adopted? That's what Mahatmas give instructions. It's perfectly alright. What Sri Ramakrishna said, follow one path directly, very good. But even the Advaitins, even the followers of non-dualistic philosophy also, they have got their own prayers. For example, Nirvana Shatka, composed by Shankaracharya. I am not this body, I am not this. It's a regular prayer to the Paramatma, Supreme Self. That's also a prayer. The point is, we are engaging your equipment towards realizing the truth. Engaging the equipment towards realizing the truth is considered prayer. Engaged in a proper way, we call it as prayer.
Okay.
Consciously doing. That's what I feel. Now that is true. The Kundalini Shakti means it's a spiritual power awakening, which leads you towards realizing the ultimate goal more fast. That's all. Some power is required. That Kundalini power is very important for spiritual awakening. For spiritual awakening, if the mind is in a tamasic state, you can't expect realization of God. So to become fully aware and to become completely absorbed in the divine thought, you require some force. That force is Kundalini Shakti. And while going through that path, by you may have so many other experiences, but they may come, but you are not bothered about them. They come only to indicate you are going in a right direction. That's all. You don't take them. They come and they go. You see, when you are walking in the street, there's so many things you see, but you don't care for them. Just you go. You take it for granted. Yeah, it is natural. The buses go, the people, cars go, etc. When you go in a particular highway, you know in that highway what things happen. In a particular highway, how gang people always make noise, etc. In marketplace, if you go, you know it. In marketplace means it's like that, so you are not bothered about it. But you know what it is. In the same way, when the Kundalini power arises, it only opens the gates to give you the joy, immense joy. But don't stop at that. Continue your journey. Joy is infinite. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and enquenched that mighty forest fire, worldliness raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drown deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my assuredness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree, take no honor to thyself, give honor to all, chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when an instant's separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrated at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stealest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy. May all be free from disease. May all realize what is good. May none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bonds. May the freed make others free. May good betide all people. May the sovereign righteously rule the earth. May all beings ever attain what is good. May the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be freed from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.